Hello everyone, today we start a new playthrough. This map has been the talk of the community for a while now and gathered an enormous amount of praising reviews. My first impression is that all this praise is well deserved. Let's see what it has in stock for us. I rarely play dungeon and I wanted to do it for some time now, so the faction choice was obvious to me. Welcome to the part 1 playthrough of the Mysterious Island. As usual, I will be trying hard to win in as few days as I can. Of course, that's my first playthrough. I don't think I will manage to show spectacular results, but we'll see. Hopefully I can do fairly well. Obviously, even though it's my first playthrough, I still try things before actually committing to anything, so hopefully I still show a decent result. So I chose Gunnar as my starting hero and a Ring of Suppression as my starting artifact. Very important in the very beginning to actually show a good tempo. So very lucky actually to get Arlok here, because in general early game ballista specialists are very strong, so I plan to use him for some things and definitely helps a lot with tempo. So as I said, early game very important to get as much tempo as you can. So I do intend to hire more, at least another hero this day. And this map is not very generous with resources, so kind of we'll have to scavenge them. There are a couple of towns available nearby that I do want to capture as soon as possible. Okay, Harpies at least managed to distract one of the stacks. That's good enough. I think I accidentally waited with Garpies, or maybe not accidentally. There is not really much danger in it. So the initial part is actually, I tested it and I think I improved it like to the best of my ability. So Gunnar actually needed to pick up this campfire to get just enough money to hire Arlok. And Arlok now will go with just these beholders and his ballista for the dungeon town. These gold piles are pretty small, so I will be skipping them for now. The plan is to send Gunnar to another town, and Gertrude or Gundula, I definitely will be calling her Gundula mostly. I will be forgetting that she's renamed to Gertrude here. So she will need to pass the army to Gunnar. She came here mostly to get this water mill that these zombies guard, and obviously the chest that was nearby. So gold is pretty tight for now. I have to basically use every hero to pick something up. And especially important to pick up gold and chests. Arlok just keeps going, and Gunnar will go for the next town for an Inferno town, as I said. And he needs to reach Watering Place next day. Gundula wasn't able to pass army this day, just too much leg work for her. And so Gunnar is gonna be waiting in a perfect place for him to reach the Watering Place next day. Getting to a town like one day later, or one day earlier, could be pretty big actually in the long run. Both towns are guarded by mummies, so obviously we need both heroes to be strong enough to deal with like maybe 18 to 20 mummies. Okay, Gertrude is gonna take more harpies and will continue clearing up starting zone. Okay, so that's the first fight, and basically the idea here is to use the ballista to fight them. Quite lucky actually. I may be able to actually do it more comfortably if I finished off one of the stacks on the ballista early on, so that beholders would have fewer stacks on them, but turned out very well. You have actually some money. Pretty good. But no more heroes for now. Kind of not much to do for them. And actually need money. So another mummy fight. That one is a bit more conventional. I don't have shooters. I mean, 5 orcs is not actually... I wouldn't call it shooters. So my primary force are troglodytes. Hopefully mummies don't focus troglodytes. I think troglodytes should be strong enough to actually dissuade them from attacking. This crevice, as you can see, is pretty nice for harpies to kite around. If I had a few more shooters here, the fight would be absolutely trivial. But even now, I still can bleed them out a little bit before they engage. Okay, so maybe I over-damaged them a little bit. They probably decided that they are not gonna be good against harpies anymore. So... I think that's a little bit of a mistake on my part. But, I mean, that at least that will speed things up a little bit. A peculiar position. Unfortunately, troglodytes did not reach the 5. Even if I moved goblins away, so I will end up bleeding something out here, unfortunately. So why did I put harpies there is that I wanted just to make sure that AI won't hit troglodytes, because it would be very likely that AI would want to block orcs, and I was a bit concerned that it would be suicidal enough to actually attack troglodytes, so I took away the only spot on the field for mummies to actually block orcs and attack troglodytes from. Okay, managed to lose only a few goblins. Resources on this map are pretty restricted, especially luxury resources, but even gold and ore are pretty tight, especially in the beginning because I don't have forts in any town, so that's why Gertrude is going to capture whatever she can. In this case, I think that's a sawmill, and also a dwelling, troglodyte dwelling, the thing that she actually fights this very moment. Okay, a bit low on HP. Probably should yes, remove retaliation with a troglodyte on the remaining big stack. Very nice and easy. Using troglodytes to lure some of the enemies away. Okay, now Arlak reached another town, so actually we are gonna have 3 towns by day 5. It's pretty nice. They're basically don't have anything, but even like 500 gold from one of them, from 2 basically, so it's 1000. Pretty good. With the economy I have, it's actually very, very good. Okay, so I focus on artillery because it's just way too important. Tactics would be also a pretty good skill in the long run, but I want Arlak to actually gain in strength a little bit. So that's my first level 6 specialist. There are 2 prisons actually for each faction like this, and both of them require 4000 gold, 4000 gold to open, so they're pretty expensive. Also add some pressure to getting more gold, but they're still very valuable. Getting 4 level 6 creatures this early is very, very good. So I have a Scorpicore and 3 manticores at this point. I have very solid force. Now the efreet hero level 6 specialist is a bit awkwardly placed actually. So Gunnar will have to embark on a ship to free that hero. Very good that halberdiers actually did not stop one step behind and actually reach my goblin. It will make them move next turn, so my troglodytes will have some work to do. Otherwise, halberdiers are a bit too fast, so kind of annoying to deal with my troglodytes. So for next turn I want to bait the same way the 10 halberdiers, and I will use the 1 goblin for that. And I want to kill the 5 halberdiers with my other units. Gertrude is gonna be gathering whatever she can here. So Arlak, I left on this Corpicore for him so that he had maximum movement, obviously. And he's gonna be fighting the lizardmen and birds. Synca is gonna reinforce him for that. So the idea is to bring Arlak back, basically. And free a scout hero that is to the east from my starting town. But also Gunnar did not miss a chest behind the windmill. A very nice find. So I have to fight these doggies, but this terrain actually is very beneficial, advantageous for us. So I actually, yes, I definitely misplaced my goblins there. It was a silly mistake there. I should have moved the 4, maybe, well, it's the very place where I put them now, actually, so that was a pretty obvious improvement, actually. So troglodytes can actually kill one of the hellhound stacks. And I want a remaining stack to hit a goblin, preferably. And so this is the way I set it up. Okay, they actually hit troglodytes. Very disappointing. So Gertrude is gonna be my main hero. It may not look like she's gonna be, because I'm using her to do anything but actually fight. But that's okay, that's not gonna be forever this way. Unfortunately, I can't actually even hire any armorers, so that's gonna be a little bit of a problem. Maybe, I don't know. Armorers obviously would be the best in the late game. Okay, obviously we want these gloves. That's a very, very nice artifact. Okay, I left my manticores and scarpicores in their starting locations to actually bait the birds to attack, and actually, as you can see, it worked out pretty well. Pretty nice. And I will do the same thing. Maximum speed for... Well, I can even maximum speed for Synca, thanks to the ore pit. Very nicely aligned everything there, so that's pretty good. And we can actually build a fort on this week. Doesn't immediately do anything, but obviously if we build it this day, we don't have to build it next week, so it makes sense, obviously. I'm a bit concerned about its price though, because I still need to pay for another level 6 specialist, so that's another 4,000 gold. And also I'm a bit curious, maybe I should build taverns and town halls in my other towns. So many things I want to do, but they're very lucky, I guess, with heroes. Both are dungeon heroes, so I can get actually a decent number of units from them. Obviously, heroes themselves are pretty bad, but whatever. So I actually wanted to hire a hero on the previous day so that I could maybe chain them a little bit. So I wanted to set a hero up in a position where Arwar just reached, so that I could move my army towards a scout hero this very day, but unfortunately just not enough money, and I decided that I need to build a fort a bit more than that, so kind of had to choose something. Dwarven Treasury would be very, very good. In general, any creature bank, if you can take it without losing too much, would be great. Just based off the money you get from these banks or creatures. This can snowball you very well. So another level 6 specialist, and efreets are obviously way better than manticores. Although I'm not gonna have many efreets in my army, so it's not particularly relevant, I guess. So I just wonder if I should build or if I should hire. A bit unfortunate. I mean, that's kind of actually why I like early game in Heroes. All these decisions when you actually have to choose between different priorities, and kind of is a meaningful choice, a very meaningful choice actually. But then in this case I actually figured that if I end up taking the Dwarven Treasury, then I will have money to build just about anything, so obviously hiring was a right choice there. So just setting my units to hopefully sweep the left side as quick as possible. That's a pretty big size Dwarven Treasury, and actually very good. I will get decent money from it. So I use those wands of troglodytes to just a little bit slow remaining stacks down. Maybe I can lure away them with a scorpicore. That would be pretty big. I actually would expect them prefer a scorpicore to a troglodyte. So basically at this point it becomes pretty trivial. Probably my stuff will be there. I don't think I actually can. So I want to lure just one of the stacks, just like this. Okay, very good. So the scout hero is to the east from here, along this path, and Ajit is gonna go free her. That's Lorelei. And Lorelei then can open access towards a brown tent for me. And with brown tent I gain a little bit more freedom of movement around my zone. As you can see, there are some brown gates around, and so that's kind of a defender's advantage, I guess, these gates. So every player, every possible, like, playable, human playable color has a tent like this that gives some bit of a defense advantage. Without these tents, attackers have to sometimes go like take a bit of a longer path. Okay, these nomads actually asked me to join, and that's actually, I don't know if it's intended or not. I actually had a few creatures asked me to join, and this is a bit tempting, I'm not gonna lie. Nomads are weak, but 24 of them is still kind of something of a stack. They can take hits, they can hit actually. But I decided that I want money. So basically 4,800 for nomads. I decided that it's not worth it. Okay, and that's Lorelei. So there are boots of speed actually here, which I definitely want to take with Gunnar. Nice. 3 miss morales in a row, that's actually pretty hilarious. It's very fortunate that it did not matter. Okay, I want Rashka to go take a mine, a sawmill actually, that I skipped with Gunnar before that. And I want Rashka to have maximum movement because he's gonna have quite a bit of the ground to cover. So that's why I gave him just efreet Sultan here. And also I will give him efreets for the actual fight there. I think this mine is guarded by Gox, if I'm not mistaken. So Ajit just broke through the next guard so that he could actually plunder some resources there. Okay, and Lorelei, I need to wait for Lorelei, unfortunately. But this way I give her maximum movement, so she has a Scorpicore and gloves, so this way she will reach the quest guard that waits for her. And I can get to the tent a little bit faster. Arlok is gonna take care of the trolls and gain access to the stables, which is stables are very nice objective. So one of the problems playing for dungeon is that, I mean, that's probably the case for every other player as well, but kind of in particular for dungeon, the issue is that minotaurs require a large number of gems, and all luxury resources are actually pretty hard to get, so it's a bit unfortunate that these wolves, this one wolf actually hit Miss Morale. I wanted you to use him to remove retaliation from one of these, but a bit unlucky, unfortunately. So I think troglodytes will probably take a hit here, yeah. Well, okay, but I have boots now. That's good. And Rashka goes to the sawmill. Rashka needs to go to come back later and pass army back to Gunnar. So that's gonna be a plan, and Gunnar is gonna go into the wild. Obviously using every opportunity to plunder any resources laying around. In this area, basically, I'm stuck waiting for Lorelei to open the to get to the brown tent. But meanwhile, I'll take care of stables and whatever else. I don't remember if I need to do anything apart from stables here. Everything else seems pretty irrelevant at this point. This fight is pretty cool, actually. It's not a difficult fight by many means, but it's kind of a demonstration of a cool way of sometimes tricking the AI. So I have garbage, as you can see, in my army for the most part, and as you have seen, the top troll stack actually wasn't concerned about my movements and moved right away. And now it's actually far enough that I can make sure that it doesn't get to deal any damage to me. So I'll just move everything down, and it's just kind of getting fooled there. And that's basically it. In general, trolls are kind of annoying to deal with. They have very high damage. And also, if you have a small army, I mean, like, not necessarily small like mine, I think I have a decent army at this point, but kind of a smaller army, their regeneration is kind of a pain to deal with. So it's pretty nice that I was able to actually even not lose basically anything on them. Especially considering that they outspeed almost everything in my army. Like they have speed on par with my manticores. So that's kind of actually a bonus point for this. So here, especially in the beginning, we are very short on resources, and there are, I think you may have noticed, there are yellow, I think they're yellow, teleports, one of which was guarded by the trolls, actually. So these connect all of my 3 towns. The problem with them is that in order to open each of them, I at least teleports next to 2nd and 3rd towns. I would need to spend a decent amount of resources. So I think it's 42 crystals each, and also one of them requires wood and one of them also requires ore to open, so kind of a hefty price to pay. And so we don't have town portal here, which means okay, that these teleports are very useful, but kind of we'd have to pay up for them pretty big time. And until then I'll have to chain everything basically from one place to another, like using chains of even like 5 heroes sometimes, maybe. So I think I might be preparing a chain here. And the plan is obviously when Lorelei gets access to the brown tent, I want to move army to another place and start expanding there. So I will be sacrificing imps and gogs here. Efreets stand just perfectly for that. They couldn't hit anything more valuable. So now I have at least one turn to deal as much damage to them. Okay, so didn't kill one of the stacks, but that's okay. So we have enough health points here. Okay, that's pretty good. So now there is no fighting there, so I can actually move army back. And I will send Gundula to clear everything up and actually visit the tent itself. Ah, I see, okay. So it's not expansion yet, so there is a library of enlightenment here. And there is an orange teleport also, so I will be able to bring army back pretty fast after this. But there is a gold mine, there are good artifacts like the dragon scale shield, so some nice stuff. So I will send army after that to expansion, and for now the library, that is. So Gunnar's army is kind of troublesome in a way. He doesn't have a strong unit. I mean, he has like the other army, he has efreets, for example, so that's something, but this other army also has like a decent number of Harpies, Evil Eyes, or Beholders. So, and Gunnar doesn't have basically anything. That's kind of a problem, so I will bring gogs with him. So I hired 8 from the dwelling, and also there are like 16 in a town. So it's gonna be his basically primary stack for now. Okay, just enough movement to flag not flag, but visit the tent. That's basically important, as you can see. Arlak and Gunnar are next to the border guards at this point, so they've been waiting to pounce. Okay, I guess it's a Monty Python reference. They kind of actually look quite like the knights who say ni, or like, what's their name? I don't remember. So this is a pretty nice setup here. As you can see, bottom knight doesn't reach anything, and I can kill the top stack. But obviously this knight would not be able to do anything either way. So at this point I still kind of scramble for any money I can get. And I obviously take this mine. So I want to be setting up a chain now. The Arlok will exit the orange portal, the one that I actually came into this place in the very beginning, behind the volcano, just above the town. So at this point I want to set up a chain, and Lorelei sets up to visit the stables next day, and she's gonna be my my advancing hero at this point, or main hero you could say, but obviously not exactly main. So another chest, very nice. That's pretty cool, I think. As you can see, it's kind of basically scrambling to get any money, like for 2 weeks already. And week 2 I actually managed to build something up, so that's kind of actually pretty cool. Obviously building up dragons would be, I think it's like probably impossible, honestly. The map is very limited in resources, very poor, you could say, and we start without a fort even, so without town hall, so kind of very restricted in terms of resources. So I have orcs. They do decrease my morale, so I decided to remove stronghold units altogether. Now my morale is actually neutral. That's something. So my plan was at this point to go east, just sweep, take the mine here and kind of head east. So that's pretty much what is gonna happen. Okay, that's pretty lucky. My efreet Sultan has only 2 HP. I didn't hit on the first turn with my single efreet, so because mages actually hit very hard, and he wouldn't hit very hard himself, so I actually would be taking more damage this way, risking to lose him, so I decided that blocking is good enough, better. Okay, so there is some portal exit. Probably for invasions later. Or maybe, I mean, it's concealed, so I assume it's for invasions. Okay, we see a blue player there, and also a brown player. Our 2 closest neighbors. Okay, there are a couple of witch huts, as they say. Okay. That's a secondary town of a blue, one of the secondary towns for a blue player. And this is a blue gate, so kind of is open to him, but is close to me, so that's gonna be annoying, probably. If I had to fight this player, like, long term, right? Because I would have to go around this gate, and he actually can go right straight, but also there is a brown gate above. That's a pretty tough fight. Pit lords are... even pit fiends. They're pretty annoying. Very strong in melee. And kind of fast enough to actually be a nuisance. And also it's a pretty big number of them here. So I left efreets there to have them hit by 1 stack. So they were positioned in a way that allowed 1 stack from the ones below to hit them. This way they take quite a bit of damage, but also it helps me reduce number of pit fiends. I think I should kill one. No, I actually attacked this stack. I probably should have actually killed one of the others. I think it should be a little bit better. Okay, that's not a great choice. Both skills are actually passable. I'm not like unhappy to get them, but obviously I would have preferred something else. Decided to stick with ballistics just in case. Maybe it's gonna be helpful. Who knows? Leadership is kind of, I would say, better like early game, sometimes late game also, but in general, I kind of am used to getting like maybe a Castle Grail later, maybe a Pendant of Courage, like some artifacts to boost morale, and also it's not that often that I mix like, I don't know, 5 or more different factions in my army, so kind of for the most part morale boost is needed to negate enemy artifacts, I'd say. That's kind of the biggest problem for morale. So leadership is also kind of, obviously can be useful, but it was a difficult choice. But also unlikely consequential. Another source of money that's very, very welcome. So obviously I'm going up and trying to clear probably left side here. And I will use this once, I think, to buy a little bit of time. I can actually use manticores to deal with one of the stacks on the right and throw once to distract 2 others. That is pretty good, I think. Okay, that's apparently what I'm actually doing here. I shouldn't forget about the paralyzed stack. It's gonna become mobile next turn. Okay, I don't want to be killing them actually, but I think they have a lot of zombies. I think don't deal much damage, so I wasn't really concerned about them hitting me. Okay, so the choice, the difficult choice, obviously I want artillery, but having a wisdom makes this hero actually usable later on. Kind of a difficult choice again. I opted for artillery, hoping that I will get wisdom later. I may be punished, but it's not main hero, so yeah, hopefully it's not gonna be that bad. I can build capital already. That's pretty nice. I think my income is pretty solid at this point. And if I add capital, that's gonna be even better. At this point, I don't believe I can steal a capital from my enemies. So I actually consider building it. Or I'd rather say, I don't think I can steal it soon enough to actually make it worthwhile waiting. The capital buys itself in 5 days, so, and I don't think I will steal anything in 5 days. So I'm kind of checking this place. Forgot to clear it actually, and considering how would I clear it. So our Arlok will come back just very soon, and I will clear this area. Meanwhile, Lorelei is gonna be advancing, and I'm setting up a chain to pass army to her. I would actually buy maybe some faster unit for Lorelei. I mean, Hound is a faster unit, but that's kind of not actually... Although it's the fastest I actually have, unfortunately. I didn't upgrade anything yet, so... speed 7 is the best I have. I may have upgraded Harpies, for example, or even Manticores. That would be a choice, and maybe actually a good choice. But I think I am at this point decided to build a capital. So my plan was to go take the mine that is guarded by Fangarms, and then there is a mine guarded by automatons to the northeast. So kind of my understanding at this point of the game is that luxury resources are pretty tight, and they are required, for example, to open portals at home, right? So kind of trying to get any stable income of those. There is poor Lekshov. I think he deserves better than Fafner. However, I guess I have a bias against alchemists. I think they're all terrible except for Nila, who is probably still worst of all armorers. So, on a serious note though, I'm sure he's happy to be featured here, as everyone would be and should be. It's a nice little perk, even if it was Tracker. Well, maybe not Tracker. This one is too much and might leave a scar for life, I think. Okay, just an aggressive way to finish this. Manticore's just beefy enough to do that without overcomplicating it, and my artifacts are pretty actually decent at this point, and that's just part of those, so when I combine them, Synca was... I judged that she was not ready to take the tower. I want to bring like just a little bit of meat and manticores. And also Gundula is a little bit better hero to do that with her attack and defense. Arlok would be perfect, but he's a little bit too far and I don't want to waste time on him. So Dragon actually decided to attack a Scorpicore. That does not make me happy. Hopefully it will reconsider. So I tried to bait him into attacking troglodytes there. I mean, setting up two of them to be attacked, but okay. Okay, just enough to deal with him. Lucky and got another solid artifact. Mind you, Gundula's own stats are kind of actually garbage, almost starting level, and with these artifacts she actually looks pretty good. So basically that's the chain I'm setting up for Lorelei. I decided to upgrade Harpies for a little bit extra speed for my scouts. I want to take this mine, and I'll get surprised here, so they offer to join me. So I think it's not intended. Their hostility level is set to aggressive, not hostile or savage, so I think they would be likely intended to be hostile, but maybe it's intended, I don't know. Anyway, that's kind of a lucky coincidence for sure. Now Gunnar gets to actually to have a decent army. I mean, actually good army, I would say. I don't like Fang arms, but it doesn't take away from the fact that they are very strong. But they are also very slow, so that's kind of an annoying thing about them. Okay. I probably don't want a big stack to be hit. I'll set up the Sultan hopefully for the hit. good enough. So now with Fang Arms I am not sure where I want to go. I'll send Rashka to check out the direction a little bit. Okay, that's kind of a surprise for me. So there is a passage in a forest to the south. And it looks like it leads to the blue player, so that's very tempting actually, especially now that I have Fang Arms. Maybe it would be still, even with just Gox, it would be tempting enough. But with Fang Arms it's definitely very tempting. And it looks like a much better option than going to get the Mercury. Okay, that's a pretty nice layout. We can shelter in the left bottom corner very nicely. But I decide, as you can see, I just set up my units to attack, to be attacked. I basically bank on Fang Arms getting a hypnotize on unicorns. Now that's unfortunate. But my efreet should be fine. Well, the fact that they miss morale is actually annoying. So I had -1 morale, as you remember, until I dismissed, or not dismissed, but removed stronghold units from my army. And now I added Fang Arms. Now my morale is once again -1. But it's definitely getting triggered way too much, I feel. Okay, blue was here, so it flagged a couple of things. Okay, they're running away. I don't think I can catch them, unfortunately. If I could hire a Pathfinder in this town, I actually would be able to catch them, probably. But since I don't have a Pathfinder already in Tavern, and that makes it a little bit wishy-washy. I'm not gonna be able to do that, unfortunately. Damn, I hope my morale will not be behaving like this when it matters. Already kind of might regret the choice of ballistics over leadership, right? Okay, probably we cannot build Grail here. I think Pepe Jama doesn't like people revealing the map, right? That would be maybe a little bit too much, in his opinion. So, okay, that's a pretty decent mage guild. So I check heroes, and yeah, obviously we don't have a pathfinder here. What's worst is that Gunnar is also not a pathfinder. So he's actually gonna be very slow on the snow. Yeah, if I moved Gondola Gertruda the way I intended, she would block the way upward to both heroes, so I moved Arlak up first. I want to visit the Colosseum, I want to pick up the chest. So it's time to move the army. And artifacts, obviously. Very, very solid. Like, I'm just looking at my artifacts and think, wow, that's pretty good. Pretty good, okay. And Brigade Harpies, they actually become a decent stack. And upgraded Harpies are quite underwhelming. Okay, this mansion is just a little bit too early for me. It requires a level 13 also, but if I kill the vampires, I can collect the chest behind and like these little resources there, so I'm just considering this option. And that's quite an auto combat there. But I think I would be able to basically just shield my evil eyes or beholders and harpies with manticores. So I think it was a pretty easy fight either way. So crystals are kind of the most important for me because of the quest guards for my teleports at home, so flagging a crystal cave is actually very useful. And there is another blue hero. Interesting. Just on the way of Lorelei. Okay, that's looks like a main hero, but the one that was away from home for some time. I would expect that there is at least some army at home as well. Still, these heroes who seem like away from home for a while, they may have pretty low mana actually. AI uses mana very frivolously, you could say. So even if it's a pretty strong hero, my hope here is that he may not have like strong spells even, because he just is away for a long time, and even if he has, he might not have a lot of mana. Solid beholder stack actually. 62, that's pretty good. Okay, as you can see, spell points are almost 0. And actually he would be... Just imagine he had full mana. Actually, even not sure I would be... I mean, I would be winning, but man, I would be losing a lot. So I'm actually very lucky here. But as I say, it's kind of pretty often the case with AI, who just a hero who's away from home for a long time. AI just tends to overspend mana in meaningless fights. So I waited, and the idea is obviously I want to not let him flee. So also because I mean, I want his artifacts, but also I don't want Gunnar to be fighting him. Okay, that's pretty nice. And he had the Mystic's Orb of Mana, so he had 4 mana. Basically, he ended his last turn with 0. I mean, that's the deal with AI. Kind of can't stop itself from wasting the mana. So I intended to send Lorelei to the northeast from there, to brown player. But the fact that she actually killed the probably strongest blue hero on her way is actually golden. It's very good that she was able to do that. Now Gunnar's task is a little bit easier. Maybe not a little bit, maybe actually a lot easier. I need to upgrade his harpy. And also I want to keep using Arlak. Now that he has expert artillery, he's actually capable with just a pretty small force to deal with most enemies, at least like with melee oriented enemies. And there is a way to use him without going too far from home. So I want to build a fort. Maybe a little bit greedy, but I think I can do that. So I want to start building up second town. Okay, there is an annoying event here. Basically losing an entire turn here just to move a few tiles. Very slippery place. I mean, events like this I don't mind. This one actually fits thematically pretty well. Okay, looks like we have a pretty solid place here. Actually, could do this movement a little bit better. I could have picked up the campfire from the top. Would have saved like 40 movement points. One extra gem. And I'm actually happy to get it. I need 4 gems to build a guild of a mage guild, level 2, so that I could actually build dragons. And I need 10 gems to build minotaurs in the second town. So, did I miss something? I think I built nice beholders. They also take 1 of each. So I still need a lot of gems. Especially if you consider that I need to upgrade minotaurs, don't remember, I think maybe evil eyes need 1 gem as well. I think not. Don't remember actually. Okay. Now we are actually... That's a week 3, so... Gunnar is actually in basically any circumstances at this point heading towards his death. So... In order to pull off what I will attempt there. I actually had to look ahead a little bit, okay? Check how blue player behaves there and where he is, so that I would be able to trick him. That's okay. Okay, later I realized that actually this place, the watering place next to this town, is actually pretty good. Maybe not like not extremely good, but if only you can find a watering place with some neutral monsters nearby, that would be like the best possible place. So there are sailors or crewmates not far from it, but kind of far enough, I guess, to be annoying, to be maybe not worth the trouble. And then you could use ideally you want to find this watering place with like very close neutral stack, and so that this watering place ideally also would be placed located somewhere somewhere where you can rather conveniently reach it, so that you could basically use this place and next day basically dismiss your hero, I mean not dismiss, attack and retreat the hero, and then rehire that hero in a town of your choice. It opens up some pretty good possibilities, but obviously it is restricted by how convenient this watering place is located. So this one is not very convenient, but still, I mean, could be very good actually, theoretically. Maybe those crewmates though would have to be a little bit closer. Obviously, if I have a town portal, that would be like nearly perfect watering place, because it's very close to a town, so kind of I think it's a good idea to actually keep an eye on these things, because using them well is a huge boost to your speed. So we are actually very close to the brown player here. We have to take a walk around, unfortunately, because we don't have his stand. The path towards blue player was actually felt a bit shorter than towards brown, although obviously this path is across the snow, so it's a different sort of a problem, obviously. At this point I want to actually start clearing up the remaining creature banks that I have at home. They'll give me the gold I actually need, so I want to be hiring and building up at this point. And I want to be building up both of my towns, so naturally I need a lot of money because I mean I need to build dragons. That's just this alone is 15,000. And I have a lot of creatures to hire, not to mention the next day is a new week, so I'll have even more creatures to hire. And obviously I want to build dragons this day. The question is, can I really afford it? Considering all the expenses Okay, this morale is kind of annoying. Unfortunately they did not hit harpies. And Ballista did the job. He needs logistics, that's nice. So Ballista is pretty strong. As you can see, just relatively nothing of an army. And mind you, Arlak just only has 3 attacks, so his Ballista is actually very weak. Like even Gurnison, if I leveled him up like 2 times and got expert artillery, he would be better already. And obviously he's a barbarian, so he would very likely have attack 6 at this point. So he would be like miles better. So Gunnar is there tricking the AI there. So that's Fafner. And he has titans at this point already. You can imagine Gunnar would not have a good time there. And obviously this Fountain of Youth and stables helped me to reach the town, even though I was not reaching it before that. And flagging the mine on the previous turn actually helped me to put the blue player in a position that he would not block my way towards the town, so that was the idea behind flagging the mine there. And also very actually fortunately that's day 1, so I can hire a couple or actually even 3 titans. Now the question is if I can afford 3 titans. That's probably a reasonable thing to ask. Basically scavenging the surroundings for any gold I can. Obviously I was greedy, I built dragons previous week, so I could have just not built them and I would have enough money. But I mean, what's fun in that? Also, I obviously want him to attack me, so I leave army inside, and he does indeed attack. Just imagine my enemy was Theodorus in this fight. With his 14 power and a bajillion of mana. Yeah, you don't have to imagine that's gonna be a very bad experience for me. So I set these troglodytes and fang arms for Nagas to actually take interest in them. What's annoying is that these towers attack anything but Titans. I actually need them to attack Titans. Because they... I'm not like 100% sure, but I think they ignore defense or something like that, so... Basically that's the most efficient use for them. And they keep hitting the friggin' golems. So I actually tempted to kill the golems so that towers stop wasting their time there. I'm considering if I can bait him into a mine. Actually, maybe if I did not move fang arms, I actually would be able to bait them. Nice. Okay, and actually he's not gonna be clean. Nice, okay. Probably didn't have anything, but still. Dealing with a hero that's above starting is always nice. Less trouble in future. And that's gonna be pretty close to ending. Very, very happy, very lucky with the way I was able to deal with the blue player. Very lucky also that it was on day one, otherwise it would be all for nothing. Still, Lorelei is gonna be facing a similar challenge very soon. The brown player also obviously is not gonna be willing to part with his main town that easily. And these fellas do go for the creature banks here. But that's it. We're gonna be wrapping up this part and continue next time. Thank you for watching. Please share your thoughts. Wonder if you played this map and what do you think? I think it's a very good map. Very approachable map, my first impression. So it's something that everyone can play and enjoy. So that's actually a very good feature of the map. And so, okay. Please let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.